we are going to be talking about that luxury experience from the perspective of some incredible, incredible agents in our community. I am Kim Harris Campbell. I am the president for our DMV region, so DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and the Carolinas, Atlanta, and Florida, which is where I am today. I'm in our Coconut Grove office. So I am thrilled to be here. Look, Black History Month is one of my favorite times of the year because it's a time where we can take a step back, really reflect on our beautiful history, all of the experiences that we have had, and really celebrate and learn from each other. I think that's what this is all about. We shouldn't just do this in Black History Month, but certainly such an incredible time to lift up the amazing agents that we have here at Compass, who are part of Black at Compass. So thank you all for joining us. So with that said, I'm going to start with just some quick introductions so we get to know the panel, and then would love for you to share how you broke into luxury, and also how do you define luxury?
Yeah, very similar to what Michael was saying in Seattle. Growing up, I thought owning a home was luxurious, right? Like if you could purchase a home, and I still feel that way in the San Francisco Bay Area or just anywhere in the world, if you can buy a home, that is a luxury. And so I really needed to focus my attention and intention on just where I wanted to be. I like to reverse engineer things in my life. And I said, okay, how do I position myself as a luxury agent coming from a background such as the one that I did, where I feel like, buying your first home or buying a home is a luxury. So I worked with a couple of agents here in the San Francisco Bay Area, as well as Lake Tahoe, the peninsula, all surrounding areas that are feeder markets to our market, as well as feeder markets to their market, to be a founder and a managing partner of the network group. I found that when you partner up as a team, I believe somebody else said it on this panel, if you collaborate without ego, then you move faster, things come to you easier. It's like the law of attraction. And a lot of the agents that we formed the network group with were already in that luxury space. So it made it easier to go into those rooms. I don't know if anyone else can resonate with this, either on the panel or at home, but we have had a tendency in the past of working twice as hard to get half as much. But now with this group that we formed, I started looking at my value more luxuriously, right? I said, okay, why don't I work twice as hard and get just as much or twice as much? So I just want to encourage everyone to start thinking in that way as well as they listen to this panel.
Cole, tell us, how do you get into the luxury mindset? How do you apply it? Any voices that might be in your head telling you that, you shouldn't be there? How do you do it?
Such a great question. I talked about it at the last Compass retreat about your mental real estate. And I know that it is imperative to remember the principle as within, so without. So first, you must recognize, I'm also a God believer as well, that the kingdom of God lives within you. So you already live in that mansion. You are already all of those things that you're looking for on the outside. It's just recognizing it within yourself. And then you can start reflecting that in your physical realm, right? But how do you quiet the insecurities, or I call them negative tenants that are taking up space or rent in your mind? You have to do daily evictions. I do that by transcendental meditation, so just clearing out the space and the clutter within my mind. I do that by looking to people who are in similar situations. So whether it be someone who doesn't look like anyone else in their field, and asking them, how do you continue to show up as your authentic self despite not seeing anyone that looks like you? That was a question that I asked Robert way back in the beginning, maybe like 6 years ago. And I said, hey, look, I'm starting to find myself in these luxury spaces and I'm not seeing anyone that looks like me. And it feels, overwhelming at times. And what he shared with me was that maybe it's so that you can be the first, so that you can give somebody else a seat at the table. And that really resonated with me because, to Jillian's point, God doesn't, I think it goes, God doesn't qualify God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And so everything that has led you up to this point in your life is for a reason. And if you truly believe it is to be a luxury agent, then you already are, and you just have to step into it.
I don't know about anyone else, but I have so many goosebumps right now. Everything you said, yes, snaps. It was just so incredibly beautiful. We're already here. We are in God's kingdom. We already live in luxury. And it just reminded me of the story of like Moses that I certainly resonate with. Like, oh my gosh, how did I get to this place? What am I supposed to do? Oh my God, but God gives you that strength. And definitely, everything that we need already lives within us. And so, oh my goodness, so many things. I was back here taking notes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole. What is something that you wish you would have known before you got started? A nugget of wisdom that you want to share with the group that you wish you knew?
Get started before you think you're ready. Because a lot of times it's like, well, if I do the following, then I'll be ready to do it. Just jump in and you can learn along the way. To everyone's point on this panel, there are an endless amount of mentors that would give you advice if you just ask, if you just raise your hand and ask. And I would also add that just remind yourself that you, again, have everything you need to be successful, and success leaves clues. And these mentors are willing to pour into you because it's part of their legacy. So I would say, look at who you want to be in 5-10 years, reverse engineer it, and just get started, because you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great.
My one last question is from the audience. So what advice would you give to a new agent, someone who's brand new to real estate, who wants to work in luxury? Any kind of closing thoughts, pieces of wisdom that you want to share with new agents?
Yeah, I would say treat other agents like your clients, because they can give you the business that you want as far as luxury, and also look at feeder markets, right? So for us in the San Francisco Bay Area, we primarily work in the East Bay. And so if you are on the East Coast, think of it as San Francisco being Manhattan and the East Bay being like Brooklyn. So a lot of times we will go to the San Francisco meetings and we will show up and show stats, and we will talk to those San Francisco agents because they know people who want to make the move to the East Bay. So find out what that equivalent is in your area. Also go to retreats or other events where you see agents at, because I feel like that is a huge lead generation opportunity that oftentimes agents miss because they're so focused on, buyers and sellers on the internet. Why not focus on other agents that can give you business? Because especially if you're a newer agent, you may not have the financials to spend on ads, and you won't have to pay an agent other than coffee or lunch until the deal closes. And that way you can save your funds and continue to stay in the business for a long period of time.
This is why I love my job so much. It's all of you. You bring so much inspiration. You change lives. I think you changed some lives today, certainly mine. And I loved the direction the conversation took. And I'm so grateful to all of you. I hope you have a beautiful day. Happy Black History Month. And we'll all get back together soon.